Hey there, Strat here. Finally getting around to doing some Clash of Wills content, and so I always like to do like a level 99 no mods clear for you guys before I get into my rank 1 clears. And so I worked out sort of a budget friendly team that can get this one done in 4 turns, 5 if you're unlucky on the variants. And so this team should comfortably get you that clear all the way up to level 99. And, you know, I'm not using really expensive gear or overpowered units. You know, this is fairly budget friendly to get this done. All right. And so we're going with a fire team because the boss has a larger innate weakness to fire, with a 40% innate weakness to fire compared to a 15% weakness to ice and dark. So fire is nice in this case. Unless, of course, you have Ayaka. If you have the Ayaka unit, you'll want to go with Ice because you want to take advantage of those 100% Ice amps for the party. But I'm not going to assume you have Ayaka. She's a limited unit. Not everybody pulled for her, so we're going to go with Fire on this one. All right, so let's just go ahead and get right into the gear. All right, so Luis is going to be here. She's going to be doing our passive provoking. All right, and so that's what the Durandal's on there, Tulian's Gauntlet. Each one of those does 30% passive provoke, and then I gave her Tulian's Vision card to finish capping off her passive provoke. Chocobo Feather is there for the guts. She will need that. She is probably going to die quite a bit in this fight because she's going to be provoking all those really strong single target physical and magical attacks that the boss does, and so she's probably going to die quite a few times. But we've got Sylvie. We've got Sylvie on that. She's going to be doing some raising and re-raising with her counters. All right. Other than that, you really don't need to worry about Louise. She doesn't even need to be higher than EX0, to be honest. All of the skills I'm going to be using are in her base form. So an EX0 Louise with the appropriate gear will get you through this just fine. All right, so yeah. Ling here she's sort of like a backup provoke unit just in case something goes wrong and Louise dies and doesn't get raised by Sylvie. And so that's what she's here for. She's here just in case so that she can provoke any single target attacks. I don't want anybody else to die. You know, we certainly don't want our damage dealers to die if we're like on the last turn and we're just trying to kill the boss, right? So basically all she needs is just some provoke gear, whatever you have to make her a provoke unit, and give that to her in both forms. Yeah, and then a form of guts as well. Okay, she doesn't need anything else. She's not doing any damage. All right, Esther is going to be a secondary DPS here. You notice I gave her some budget gear. She's only EX +1. And so Infernal Battle Garb is nice because it does 50% Beast Killer. Mask of Azura for the 50% Demon Killer. An extra Beast Killer, and then Dark Knight's Knowledge is a 50% Demon Killer, so that just caps off her killers there. Indestructible Light for the Chain Cap boost. And Chizuru's card, because you can buy that one now in the VC Select Shop. And so she's 300% Beast and Demon Killer, ready to rock and roll. Sylvie, so most of this gear was just for a previous clear strategy I was trying out. You don't really need any of this stuff. The only thing Sylvie needs is a Blizzard Orb for the counters and her TMR that changes her normal attack to the counter that raises and re-raises everybody. So make sure you have her TMR and a Blizzard Orb in both forms. That's literally all you need. So you can ignore all the rest of this gear. Just a Blizzard Orb and her TMR is all you need. Okay? She does have her Vision card, of course. A little extra morale fill never hurts. All right, Golbez is going to be the primary damage dealer, and you see I've got that Jester's Claymore on him once again. You probably saw that in my previous clear against the Hopping Mad EXT trial. And I went ahead and ran it through Item World. I totally ignored the special unique rare on it, and I went all in on MP just to try and crank up Golbez's MP as high as I could. So I got pretty good roll in MP there. And, you know, either MP or MP Refresh is going to be good for Golbez because it already comes with the 50% Mag TDH, which is all that Golbez needs in order to cap off his TDH. So that's really, really nice. Okay. He's got his STMR there, the Curse variety, because we are going to use that for some breaks. Immel's head is just a budget high mag helm. You could also use Heliarch's TMR. Magister's ring is there for the chain cap boost. The Chocobo feather accessory is there. That's sort of a safety net, just in case something goes wrong and the party actually takes some damage for some reason. That's there just to make sure that he doesn't die. All right, you probably won't need it, but it's just there as a safety net. And then just to, all the killers I could stuff in there. And so he's 225 beast, 250 demon. That's good enough. That'll get the job done. Oliveira's vision card for the budget version, because you can buy that in the shop now. Obviously, Dazzling Demoness would be better on Golbez, but I'm not going to assume that you have it. All right. Elena is really just here for some support chaining. Her biggest benefit is the skill right here, Crystal Refragmentation, that gets rid of imperils and then puts up 100% elemental buffs for the party for 5 turns. That is going to keep us safe from all the elemental magic attacks and get rid of that nasty imperil on turn, that preemptive imperil that the boss does. And then, yeah, otherwise, I gave her a little bit of gear with some killers and whatnot. Don't ignore her completely, because she might be the difference between you clearing the fight on the right turn and not doing it, but she's not going to do a whole heap of damage for you here. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get in here and see how we get this done. This is a 4-turn clear, maybe 5 turns if we get unlucky with the damage variance. All right. Alright, so the boss starts off with a full break to the party and a huge imperil of 350% imperil to fire and dark. So that's why Elena's here, to get rid of that. Okay, Crystal Refrag will get rid of that imperil, and then she'll also do some morale fill. So you'll see, like, for example, ooh, there you go, yeah, 350%, ouch. So Elena is going to use that Crystal Refrag. That's going to get rid of it and then put up a 100% buff to all elements. And so we will take no damage when the boss does his AoE dark and fire magic damage. All right, Luis is going to take care of the breaks. We've got Fire Starter. That'll put up the fire field. Power Boost gets rid of the breaks. And then we'll just do Diverse Arsenal and Heavy Firepower. All right, just to have something to do. We're going to save Incapacitate Target for next turn. All right, Sylvie will do Paladin's Defense, Offense, and Burgeoning Defense to do some morale fill. This boss doesn't really fight you on the morale very hard, and so it's a good idea just to build up a little bit of morale, because that does help with your stats. All right. Ling will do Transcendent Performance, Disarming Movements for some breaks, Blithe Step for some morale fill. All right, Golbez will do Jet Black Curse for the breaks. We'll do Curse and give your powers to Meteor. All right, Esther is going to do Energizing Bunny and then Double Bolting Slice. We don't want to do Calm Before the Storm. We're saving that for the big burst on turn 4. All right, because what I'm going to try to do in this strategy is not push the 50% threshold next turn. We want to push the 75% threshold. This boss has 3 thresholds, right? It's got 75, it's got 50% and a 25% threshold, and it has a very predictable 4-turn rotation, and every time you push a threshold it resets that rotation. And so we're going to sort of take advantage of that by pushing the thresholds exactly when we want them, when we want to push them. Alright, so there's the AoE. There we go. So yeah, Luis died. Paladin Sylvie brought her back. Alright, too easy. There is a very small chance that Paladin Sylvie will not re-raise Luis on that one, and if that happens, just start over and come back into the fight. Alright, it's not a big deal. So just quit the fight and come back in. It's like 9 times out of 10 Sylvie will counter there, and like that one time, that like 10% chance that she doesn't counter. Yep, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so now Luis can do Incapacitate Target. Alright, Golbez will do Meteor. Ooh, where is it? Where's my Meteor? There we go. Alright, Sylvie will shift. All right, she'll go ahead and do the Demon Killer on Golbez, Clever Paladin Strike for the Sword in Peril, and then we'll just do Cheerful Paladin Strike for the morale fill. All right, Ling is going to shift. She's going to do Hunter Stance, Blaze of the Phoenix, and then Celestial Dance. That's going to put up the Mirage stacks because we're going to push the threshold here, the 75% threshold. And so that's going to reset the rotation. So the boss is going to do the AoE physicals again, so we need the Mirage stacks for that. Now, the hope here is that we do not push the 50% threshold, right? That's the idea. We don't want to push the 50% threshold, just the 75% threshold. Okay, so Elena will do Blade, Crystal Piercing, and Esther will just do Triple Bolting Slice. All right, so this should put us somewhere between 50 and 60%. Hopefully we don't go over 50. If we do, well, we'll just figure it out, huh? Perfect. Yep. That's what you want to see. All right, so you see that time Luis gutsed the single target magic attack. Perfect. All right, now Luis is going to do, so you notice I put Lakshmi on Luis. That is for this unstoppable protection because the boss is going to do that motionless despair because we haven't passed that point on the morale bar to stop that morale action from happening. So I think Golbez is the only one that's, no, Golbez and Elena I think don't have stop resist. So if it just happens to do it to Golbez or Elena, they might get stopped. But yeah, it's good to just go ahead, because otherwise Luis doesn't really have anything else to do this turn anyways. So might as well do that. All right, Ling is going to, once again, just sort of re-up the killers. All right, Blaze of the Phoenix, and then Dragon Dancer. Okay. Sylvie will go ahead and do her LB on this turn. Okay, that's just to prepare for next turn. All right, let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Yep. Boom. All right, and then Golbez is going to do Curse, Osmose, give your powers to Meteor. And then Esther can now do her Calm Before the Storm. So we're ready for next turn. Elena will just chain with her. Okay. All right, and this again, this shouldn't push the 50% threshold. If you're like really close, if you're at like 51%, and you don't want to push that threshold, then you can just have Esther do Calm Before the Storm only, all right? And then you'll have Sylvie use her I've Got Your Back skill to fill up Esther's LB gauge next turn, okay? There we go. That's right where we want to be. All right, so now the boss is going to do the Fire and Dark, but we are totally resistant to it. All right, Luis took that single target magic attack again and gutsed it out. Great job, Luis. All right, Luis is now going to re-up the Fire Field. All right, because that has expired. All right, Sylvie is going to do the Demon Killer on Golbez again. Okay, and then just to show you, so you can do I've Got Your Back on Esther, just to show you in case, you know, she couldn't fill up her LB gauge the previous turn, and then we'll just do some more morale fill. Okay. All right, so Golbez will do Meteor, Esther and Elena will chain their LBs, and this should finish the fight. You notice I'm not doing anything with Ling. If for some reason you came up short, all right, Ling is going to do her Brave Shifted LB because that does a 5-stack Mirage, because that will, since we'll be pushing the threshold, we'll probably pushing 2 thresholds actually, the boss will again do that AoE physical attack, so we'll need the Mirage stacks to be prepared for that, okay? But I'm not going to use her unless, you know, unless we come up short. And there you go. Yep. Finished the fight. Very good. It's been very, very consistent. I've had maybe like 1 or 2 times where I've come up like 1 or 2% short. It's really okay if that happens. You just have Sylvie shift back to her normal form. She uses her MP fill ability to top off Golbez, and then you just do another Meteor the next turn, because the 90% Spirit Break will still be there. Esther and Elena can just chain, and Golbez drops another Meteor, boom, and the fight's over. All right, very, very easy. So yeah, yeah, Golbez doing the majority of the damage there, and then Esther and Elena just picking up what's left. So there you go. There's a nice, easy, you know, fairly repeatable, somewhat budget, I would say, semi-budget, you know, as budget-friendly as I can get it, really. So that's the best I could do on a budget. And now I will show you the team I used to actually like just clear everything. So, you know, I'd say a lot of people have a team that they use to try and just clear these things quickly. And so you've probably seen some first turn kill teams out there. I'll just show you the team that I actually used to clear this all the way up to level 99 quickly on a first turn. And this team worked all the way up to level 99 as an FTKO. Now obviously the units here are much, much stronger. You see I've got an EX3 2B, EX3 Chizuru, EX3 Esther, all level 130. And so, you know, obviously, if you don't have the units, if your units aren't this strong, you're not going to be able to replicate this strategy, but this might still work for you. And you might still be able to pull off a 2-turn strategy with this as well. I don't know. It could work, but this got me all the way up to level 99 with an FTKO clear, easy peasy. All right, so I'll just show you real quick the gear. Sylvie, the gear is irrelevant because, I mean, she's just going to set up the buffs on turn 1 and then we kill it. So her gear is completely irrelevant. She just needs to be at least EX1 in order to access her Brave Shift for the buffs. That's all she needs. Esther is she's definitely going to be the, you know, the quaternary DPS unit on this one, maybe the tertiary, I'm not sure, but yeah, she kind of gets the last of the gear here, but she still does just fine. All right, so just making sure she's got as much killers as we can get in there. I think we're capped on beast. Yeah, 300 beast, 250 demon, 300 LB damage, ready to go. You know, the reason why we don't give Esther all the gears is because she's not going to get that setup turn that she normally would get. And so if she got that setup turn, then, you know, you might want to put some better gear there, but yeah, nah. All right, so Chizuru, she starts in her Brave Shift form because we're just going to go straight to her LB. So you see I gave her some Cal gear there. She's got her STMR, enough killers to make sure that she's capped on everything. 300 Beast and Demon, yep. 300 LB damage, good to go. And then the cool Smile Vision card. You may not need this, to be honest, because the boss has 1.8 billion HP, and we routinely do like 2.2, 2.3 billion with this team, so you may not need Cool Smile, to be honest with you, but I haven't actually tested it without it, so I don't know, may not work. I just always put it on Chizuru because it's really good. It's really good on her. Gives her an extra 100 times modifier on her LB, so why not use it? All right. Kaito is literally just here. I didn't even bother gearing him. You could put much better gear on him here. He's just here to do the breaks and do some chaining with his Brave Shift LB. So as long as he's EX2, that's fine. Doesn't need to be EX3. And you could put better gear on him and maybe do more damage. I don't know. Roberta is also just here for the Fire Imbue, and so, you know, the gear is irrelevant, but if you wanted to put, you know, this is all just gear that I saved on her from a previous clear, or a previous strategy, so it's irrelevant. You could gear her better and maybe do a little bit more damage on turn 1. But this is all she really needs. I don't even think she's capped on anything. Yeah, no. 100 Beast, 75 Demon, yeah. So she's not doing any appreciable damage. And then my 2B. So 2B is obviously bringing the hurt. I got all the best gear on her here, as you can see. If your 2B is not this strong, Like I said, don't worry about it. We go way over. You know, we do like 500 million more than the boss's HP with this team, and so you may still be able to make it work. Okay, but yeah, I've got all the best gear on her to make sure that she's rocking it. Capped on killers, capped on LB damage. She's good to go. All right. So this is the team I use to clear this out in a first turn kill all the way up to level 99. Maybe it works for you, maybe not, but maybe it can at least help you give you an idea of something that could work for you. All right, so let's get into it. All right. And yeah, we are going to like totally ignore, we're going to ignore all the breaks and imperils. We're just going to ignore all that and just power through. All right, so Paladin's offense for the buffs. Poached Demon goes to 2B, because she is by far our strongest unit. And then I've got your back to Esther. All right, and then pretty much everybody just does their LB, except for Roberta. Obviously, Roberta is going to do Inferno Breath, and then we'll just do a double Mystic. Okay. And yeah, so we'll tap Roberta, and then we'll send Kaito, Esther, and 2B, so we'll do Kaito, Esther, 2B, Chizuru in that order. And so that way Chizuru gets to take advantage of the highest katana imperil. All right. So, yep, let's just do it. So make sure you tap Roberta first, so everybody's imbued with fire. Okay, and then send Kaito, Esther, 2B, Chizuru. And there you go. First turn clear, easy peasy. 2.2, yeah. So usually 2.2, 2.3. Like I said, well over the boss's max HP, and so there's some room there if your units aren't quite as strong. All right, and 2B, wow, Chizuru actually came out in front on that one. Very good, Chizuru. Wow. Okay, so yeah, again, thanks to that cool smile vision card. So I think if she didn't have that, it probably wouldn't be quite as strong, because I think that puts her LB modifier above 2B's modifier with that cool smile vision card. But yeah, very, very cool. So there you go. So there's the layout. You know, Chizuru, 2B obviously doing the majority of the damage there, and then Esther kind of bringing up the rear. It looks like Chizuru and 2B just came under the boss's HP. It looks like they did 1.7 billion by themselves. So Esther definitely good there for carrying them over the line. Kaito obviously doing nothing. If I had geared him better, maybe he would have done something, but you know, his LB modifier is so low, it doesn't really do much on first turn clears. He's just there for the breaks. All right, let's see what I got on this one. Okay, nothing. All right, I've got Lapis and a ticket, so I'm actually pretty happy. I'm not really going to be doing a whole lot of farming. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I hope this was helpful to you, or at least entertaining, and I'll be working on my rank 1 clear. You see I've got you know, a score over 1 million there. That's just me working on my rank 1 team. I'll show you, this is the team that I'm working on. So someone on my Discord server asked if I would try using this team composition here, and so I'm giving it a try, and we'll see. Maybe I can get a rank 1 with this team. I think I can. I just got to work out the rotation a little bit, but I think this team should get me across the line for a rank 1 finish, and if I get that done, I will certainly record it, and I will show you guys how I got it done. So thank you so much for following me, and hope to see you on future videos. Stay tuned, more Clash of Wills content coming, and I will see you on the other side.